When 1984, the actual year, came round, not only television, but the whole world had changed in ways Orwell could not have imagined. Mikhail Gorbachev was about to become premier in the Soviet Union, which would lead to the smashing of walls and the downfall of communism. (1984) was also the year that a little-known Pentagon computer network was reorganized to create a separate civilian university network. It would soon become known as the Internet.
I think rereading 1984 in 1999 or 2000, you realize how much of it still speaks to us. There were people who tried to argue that certain things had passed away forever with the Berlin Wall, but there are other aspects of Orwell's nightmare that are with us every day.
The loss of privacy was a central theme in 1984, a theme that has become a reality today.
There's a sense of a loss of privacy, and that you now behave differently because you believe you're being monitored, even if nobody's ever looking at the screen. And I think that's what's happening in our society that changes your sense of freedom.
Orwell valued privacy. He moved to the end of the earth to keep it. Even today, 50 years later, telephone salespeople can't bother his old house. There's no telephone.
Hello, is this Evelyn Johansson?
Hello.
When will she be
Money for
live
the
with
Green
Marcus
County
Equity?
Patrolman's Benevolence.
This is Cathcart. Hello, this is Jim
Interested?
Arnold with Steam Quick Carpet Cleaners.
In the United States, one of the most irritating invasions of privacy is the nightly phone calls from the telephone salespeople.
Hello?
Hello there. May I speak to Kelly Martin?
May I ask who's calling?
Hi, Kelly. I'm Monique.
With Flimflex Diet Supplements, how are you today?
For each and every citizen in the United States, there is an average of 300 files or more containing reams of private data.
I hear your baby there, Kelly. Is it a boy or a girl?
Telemarketers, as they are known, always want more.
Reference to following grade for the DTU 216. Reference to BDR and Martin/Kelly. She terminated at 306.
Cancel, stop, unproceed, construction-wise.
Orwell's warning may be coming true.
I completed 72 UTCs with a return estimate of 76% on the GPS.
The loss of privacy, strangers reading your files, reading your images, reading your mind.
Report any strangers. Remember, Big Brother is watching you. You should be watching them.
Supposedly for your benefit, of course.
We were wondering if you've heard of our Flimflex Daily Duo?
No, thank you. Bye.
The line often repeated is that we must give up a little bit of freedom for the convenience and protection. But the freedom we give up is real and known. Unknown is the true nature of the protection we receive in return.
My grandparents were killed because of the gathering of information in Europe, and as a Jew especially, I worry about myself and minorities and what can be done if somebody comes into power and takes all that information and uses it. So it may be somewhat innocuous now, but the enormous power of now knowing everyone's race, religion, which videos they watch, and how many groceries they buy by just tracking their credit cards or where they've been on vacation is terrifying if it falls into the wrong hands.
Winston and Julia had been living a fantasy.
We are the dead.
We are the dead.
You are the dead. Remain exactly where you are. Make no move until you are ordered.
Big Brother was watching.
Now they can see us.
Now we can see you. Clasp your hands behind your heads. Stand out in the middle of the room. Stand back to back. Do not touch one another.
More than 21 million surveillance cameras have been sold and installed worldwide, and that's a modest estimate. A vast silent system of surveillance and control. They are powered up right now, watching for you. At the moment, even with millions of security cameras, our lives remain mostly private by default. Maintained because we are hiding in plain sight, surveillance of our intimate details requires too much effort, for the moment.
Enemy of the people, Comrade Rosenblum, was executed for participating in a plot to assassinate Big Brother and several cabinet members.
And that is the obvious flaw in Orwell's concept of the two-way telescreen. Who would watch the watchers, and who would watch them watching? In 1984, people watched people. That is all changing. Computers are already able to recognize faces in a primitive way. A personal computer has the equivalent brain power of, at best, a mouse. But the silicon circuits become brighter and brainier by the day.
By 2020, $1,000 of computation will be equal to the computational capacity of the human brain, which I estimate at about 100 billion neurons. By 2030, $1 of computation will equal the computing capacity of the human brain. Now that's a necessary but not sufficient condition to create computers or non-biological intelligence equal to human intelligence.
Please remain in your vehicle. Exit to the right.
Who will be watching the watchers, watching the watchers watch us?
To the right at all times. If you back up,
Quite possibly, non-biological intelligence.
look left. Clear the lane immediately. Objects in your
Presumably, a biological mind, human, will remain in control of the central processing. Presumably. But is that good news?
I think what Orwell made us aware of is how easy it is to transform a whole culture, a whole nation. You can take good people, the best, the brightest, the people with the best values, the most normal, the most healthy, and transform them into fascists, into totalitarian-minded individuals, or mindless individuals, into Orwellian clogs of the state.
In 1971, at Stanford University, Philip Zimbardo learned just how quickly human values can shift during an experiment he had organized in the Department of Psychology. College students, recruited through newspaper ads, were divided up at random into groups of prisoners and guards. The experiment called for those designated prisoners to actually be rounded up and jailed. Zimbardo was shocked when the experiment turned truly Orwellian.
You're smart, cool athlete. You get down here and do 10 push-ups. 2, 3, 4.
Within 2 days, they were hitting them with the clubs, they were cursing them, they were physically abusing them. The boys, college students who were playing the role of guards had become prison guards. Were telling me these guys are dangerous, they have to be kept in chains, they have to be put in solitary confinement all night.
Get in that closet then.
I mean, just total loss of reality in the most Orwellian sense.
Prisoner 819 did a bad thing.
The study was supposed to run for 2 weeks. I had to end it in 6 days because it was totally out of control.
Smoking is a privilege. Smoking is a privilege.
The guards in Zimbardo's experiment had become infatuated with power.
Now, there's a couple ways that we can do this.
Orwell was deeply concerned about this flaw in human nature. It was his central theme in 1984.